So why did we choose democracy vouchers as our case study today? Well, in some ways, a picture's worth 1,000 words. This image of where political donors live in the city of Seattle is really telling. But when you combine it with a couple of other images, something aligns. This image of where the wealthiest neighborhoods are in Seattle, and this one where the whitest neighborhoods are in Seattle, you see the incredible overlap, the alignment between these three maps. Well, that alignment is the same alignment and concentration of opportunity and civic power that you see not only on campaign finance issues and not only in Seattle, but on a range of issues all across the United States. Now, one of the things about democracy vouchers is that it also helps us illuminate the different dimensions of citizen power that we've been talking about. Of course, fundamentally, it's about wealth. And then it's an idea here to try to equalize the power of wealth. You had to get numbers of people involved in order to make a change to public policy, either through city council or directly to the people. And once you decided to go to the people, you had to change norms about what was okay about who has voice in our city. And the amazing thing about all of these is the ways in which they aligned one to another, and create this matrix. Now, on this issue, physical force didn't really come into play, but this kind of map is true of so many issues in civic life across so many domains. And on our show here, we're going to try not only to explain it through case studies like democracy vouchers, but also simply by having conversations with you, the viewers, and hearing from you and some of the questions that you might have. So we've actually asked for a few questions on social media. And the first one here is this: how do I assert my civic power without reinforcing the privileges I have? Keyword privileges. You know, I think there's a really simple answer here to Bob and Ramsey's question. You have to see it, you have to own it, and you have to circulate it. Are you willing to admit the kinds of privileges, whether it's white privilege, whether it's gender privilege, whether it's class privilege? Are you willing to own it and say, you know what, I'm not going to be defensive about this, I'm not going to try to deny it? And then are you going to circulate it? Am I going to be somebody who, once I realize what I have and what advantages I have in my life, I'm going to hoard those advantages? Or am I going to, for the good of the community, think about ways that I can circulate that opportunity, that power, that voice? We created this show because fundamentally we believe that when you circulate it, the city is stronger. We're all better off when we're all better off civically as well as materially. And so the second question we got on social media brings up a different angle of the question. Can you harness the power of social media to increase civic engagement? How can we turn tweets into meaningful action? You know, this is a big question right now in this age of protest, whether it's on immigration or minimum wage or criminal justice reform. But when I see a tweet like this, something comes to mind very simply for me, and that is hashtag Black Lives Matter. To me, the arc of evolution of Black Lives Matter answers this question. It began as something that was just on Twitter to express voice and frustration, to give people who didn't have power in civic life an ability to aggregate their wants and needs and their voices. But now there's a pivot that's happening. You have Black Lives Matter activists who are deciding to run for office. You have activists who are mobilized by this hashtag, thinking about how in every community they can coalesce and apply pressure to policymakers and public officials to change the way policing happens, to change the opportunity grid in our communities. And so this way of making that pivot is super important when we think about changing social media power into meaningful action. The last thing that I'll say about this, though, on all these kinds of questions, is that really, when you think about how we engage one another, it's a matter of mutual learning, constant mutual learning. And so for us at Citizen University TV, we want to learn continuously from you. We want to invite you to send us your ideas, your questions, stories that you want to share, and you can tweet us at Seattle Channel, hashtag CitizenUTV. Do that, and we will enjoy hearing your stories and your questions, and we will put them on the show, because for us, this is about a conversation with the community. So send us your questions. Well, that wraps it up for our very first episode of Citizen University TV. We hope you've enjoyed it. Today we got to explore some of the building blocks of civic power, some of the core elements of what it means to be able to have voice and agency in civic life. In future episodes, we're going to go deeper. In fact, in our next episode, we're going to explore this question of how you convert protest into power. We hope you'll join us then. I'm Eric Liu. This is Citizen University TV. Thank you for watching.